Hey everyone, welcome to Real Agents Podcast. Gonna bring on my co-host, Tara Rogers.
Hey, I'm Tara.
Hey everybody, so we are live. So there needs to be a certain amount of grace with live. Cameras can fall, loud noises can happen in the background. We know that we are live right now. Here, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is Monday, March the 10th. I'm so excited to have our two special guests. We have Amy Phillips as well as Aprilly Osborne. Hey, ladies.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey guys.
Yes, welcome you guys. I'm going to pull up your comments so I can see you comment. But the purpose of this podcast for all of you guys who are viewing for the first time, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, is to just really share real estate information, answer your questions, and just simply laugh and just show the real side of real estate. We are real people, you guys. We are not AI. What are your thoughts on AI, ladies? AI is like really trying to take over, but I think there's a real need, for us agents, the real human connection. Like, what are some of your thoughts on all that's going on with AI?
I
Go
think
ahead,
for
Tara.
me, yeah, I think for me, the functionality of it, I actually love. I'm all about the efficiency. So the functionality, I love. I think what creeps me out it is the AI people. Like it's not a real person. And so like when you're scrolling, you're seeing are you watching this? Did you know I was AI? And it's like, yes, girl, I can see it because you're not blinking. Right. So that is the thing that's off-putting for me.
I have to agree 100%. And it's like, when you're calling and I had my cell phone messed up the other week and I had to call to get like some sort of technical, and I knew I was talking to AI and I'm like, click, 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 I want a real live person. And it's like, tell me
Yes.
about your problems. I'm like, I don't want to tell you about my problems. I want to talk to a human. And so yes, I love it for like the ability to help me to streamline my business, to
Right.
help me to, like, if I'm having a word stuck in my mind, I'm trying to think of an extra word and I'm like, hey, here, this one, I'm trying to say this about this house, help me say it. And it
Right.
puts a whole paragraph together for me. I love it for that purpose. But to communicate with clients, I'm like, listen, give me a human. I want a human.
Yes.
Yes. What about you, Amy?
Um, yes and no. So I'm getting ready to test out. Like if I'm talking on the phone, I want to talk to a human if I'm trying to solve a problem. But I am starting to use this new system that I found. They're an up and coming company, and they're going to build a website for me, a community website that's focused
Oh,
just where I live in Oviedo. And then they're also going to use create real life. I thought avatars were like little caricatures, but it's going to be. I'm going to make a recording, and then they're going to use that recording. So when somebody goes to the website, they'll see instead of that little bubble on the bottom, I'll come up and I'll be able to talk to them AI with some, pre-done like whatever problems or issues or questions, not even problems or issues, but just questions about the community. Um, but yeah, so he's going to be creating that and then also choosing how he goes out in the community. Technically, I'm so ignorant on this. I'm just like, when he was telling me, it just sounds so cool. So, but I was trying to make sure that, yeah, it didn't sound fake
yeah.
or but I like the idea of the community Facebook page that he's going to create along with the website. It's going to capture those people and retarget and remarket using my actual self video. That's
Is it
my
you or
mouth is
AI?
speaking
I
words.
love it.
I don't understand, but whatever, it's kind of cool. We'll see how it goes. He seems pretty like he's on top of things, and he's got some really big heavy hitters behind him, so it's kind of cool.
I love that. I love that. And I think, it has its place. I know when I call to speak with banking or some need, I'm like, speak to representative. I'm trying to sound as
Yeah.
robotic as I can for them to pick it up. But I think there's a need for human interaction. I think when some of the individuals message us for you guys who are out there listening. Let me go to the chat to make sure you guys could hear us okay. All right. Let me make sure. Can someone comment and just kind of say, I hear you? We want to make sure that you guys could hear us. Hey, honey, can you make sure that you can hear us? Remember, we are live, you guys. We are real agents on live with you right now. We want to make sure you get the benefit of our conversation by being able to hear us. Let's see, let's see, let's see. All right. Hopefully you guys can hear us. Honey, if you can test that for me. Yeah, but just that real agent experience. And I know with all of our CRMs, mass messages go out. I want to encourage some of you guys who are listening, buyers and sellers. A lot of times that's like us messaging you. we just sound we just sound kind of computer generated, but sometimes we're messaging, checking in on you. We'll send you a little video update. What are some of your thoughts, ladies, on some of your clients, really thinking that it's automated? Of course, sometimes we do have automated messaging. I'm not saying that we don't, you guys, but then
Right.
sometimes it's you guys. And I think with Chat GPT, we can sound kind of automated, huh? Like,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I literally, when I meet a new client and they've just either talked to me on the phone or internet or whatever, I send them my screen. I send them like an actual video from my website. And I'm like, hey, I just want to give you a face with a name of who you're actually talking to. Live person here. Boom, here's my website. So you can actually
I
see
love
it.
that.
So I feel like that's important. So I do agree.
Yeah. Same. Same.
Yeah.
I love that. So, what's going on in Naples? I know we have some amazing things coming up. We are with Call It Closed. Raise your hand if you're with Call It Closed. Do a little jig. Do a little jig if you're with Call It Closed.
That's for
And
keep
if
it
you
100%.
guess what, you guys? Aprilli Osborne, one of our special guests, she's actually the co-founder of Call It Close Real Estate. And I love what you and your husband, Chad, are doing. You guys have this 100% base commission model. Agents, yes, I'm going straight to commission, but 100% commission based model on top of everything else. But I think it is important as agents, you guys, we are diligently working for our clients. We are submitting your offers. We are working hard for you. We're working hard to get you incentives if it's new construction or if it's negotiating after inspection. We really are working for you. So I think that getting 100% of my commission just makes sense. Like, what are your thoughts, ladies?
Oh yeah. Um,
Definitely the. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead,
I'm
Amy.
sorry. I mean, I switched looking for 100% commission so that I could be a small business owner. If I was giving my money away and I had to cap, and then I was on a team, and to a certain point, I learned enough. I didn't need to be on a team waiting for somebody else to give me my leads because I wasn't waiting for somebody else to give me my leads. I was already out there doing what I was supposed to be doing. And then I had some traction behind me. It was nice to get started that way. But once I realized, when I got my check, I was like, darn it, I could be doing this, this, and this with this money that I just gave away. And how much longer do I have until I have to cap? Or
Yeah.
I will, if I'm on a team, I cap, but then I still have to give my team still some money. So yeah, I love the idea of helping agents, supporting one another, and not always really taking a part of their money if it's not a lead that I didn't give them and stuff. So there's just something to that just is not for me. I like supporting people and letting them hit the ground running. And I've been trying to develop that too. So trying to help somebody when I'm a full-time business owner can be overwhelming at times. So just kind of scaffolding my support. I'm learning about micro teams now, but yeah. So I'm going off on a tangent, but yeah. So call it close, 100% commission. And my story on how I get there is a whole nother story, but that's for another
Yeah, I
time.
love that. I mean, you have
Yeah.
that extra money to be able to purchase eggs and gas, right? Like two of the highest things in society. What's your thoughts, April?
Yeah, no, I mean, Chad and I were, Remax owners over we had 5 Remax offices here in Naples, Florida, and Bonita Springs, in the wealthiest area, most expensive real estate in the country. And the reality of it is I'm still a producer myself. I still sell real estate, and so that was the most important thing for me, was like, what am I? I'm, as an owner now, I'm taking commission, I'm taking money from my agents, and the exchange was not there anymore. Nobody's calling the broker anymore and going, hey, can you send an agent over? I would like to sell my house or buy a house. And so the reality of it is, because of that shift that's happening in the market and the way the consumer does business with us, it's really important for us as agents to be able to sit in the driver's seat of our own car. And so without 100% commission, you cannot sit in the driver's seat of your car because of your business, and without that. And so you have to be in control. You have to control your success. And so the 100% commission keeps you 100% in control of your business. And so you can actually succeed the highest level, I believe, with this company. And not only just 100% commission, but all of the other things that we bring to the table that are game changers. And so it's extremely important. I know Tara is with us as well. And what's your thoughts, Tara?
I think one of the things that I would probably share a little bit of a different spin is when you are an agent that's in a 100% brokerage model, yes, the agent benefits from the 100%, but where I would focus is actually one of the questions that was posed to me outside of the 100%, where is the impact, right? And where you really see the impact for my clients is because I'm not concerned about this house versus this house and what will happen for me and what does it look like for me, because I'm not concerned about that, I am able to 100% focus on my client's needs. Where does my client want to be? What home does my client want to see? It might be a for sale by owner. It might be a home that is listed off market. It might be a home on the MLS. It really, by not, as an agent, by not having to focus on how I am going to be taken care of, I'm able to solely focus on what my client needs. And that really is a huge benefit in the marketplace to buyers and sellers that are looking, investors that are looking. When you're working with a client, I've got quite a few investors, right? And so they're wanting to get in, get the house, flip it, get out, right? And how can they do that at cost? Well, because I am in control of my business, I'm able to run and set that up for them at what's going to be most advantageous for them. We don't have to have the conversation about, well, I've got to do X and I've got to split this. I'm able to give them what they need. And I think that's a huge benefit from being in a 100% brokerage. But one thing, I know this is a little off course, but Amy, I am looking at your background. And I know I have a Sapphire Award from Call It Close, but that is emerald and that is green. That is,
Yeah.
I need that.
Let me see,
What,
Amy. Let me
what
see.
is that?
Yeah, there's 3 of them.
Yeah, I'm
It's,
feeling away.
I was just realizing how long I must be at Call It Close for 3 years now.
That's
Now I'm
right.
going to go on my 4th year. And last year I went and I got emerald, and there were 2 people, right, that got diamond. And I was sitting there thinking, I want diamond.
Well, you got me sitting here thinking I want emerald. So
I love it for the great work, the great work that you're doing, for your clients. I think it's so important to highlight like what we do as realtors. We do more than open doors, ladies. Like what
yes.
are some things that you feel like we do, but maybe the public doesn't know that we do that as real estate agents? I'd say just making sure, like with photography and listings, going the extra mile to video your property, to create a brochure for some agents. Like all of those are services to really help to boost your property. So we're not just putting your information in our MLS and just expecting that go live of your property to sell it, but we are actively telling people about it, getting on our socials, sometimes even putting money, as you talked about, Amy, being able to use our money, for our clients, and Tara not really needing to worry about that because our commission is 100%. We can put more of our funding dollars toward helping you, our amazing clients. So, like, ladies, what are some things that you feel that we do as real estate agents that maybe goes unseen or unnoticed, or maybe the client just doesn't know, you know?
Yeah, I think we do so many things. Like, I mean, I show up with a broom and a vacuum.
Yeah.
I show up with Febreze. I show up with Windex and glass
Yes.
cleaner, appliance cleaner, and I am cleaning that house, almost every time it shows. I try to go freshen the home up before, it shows, turn all the lights on. I carry light bulbs in my car because I want all the lights to work. I become a handyman. I become a maid. Sometimes I'm babysitting the kids while the
Yeah.
parents are walking through that house. So I become the babysitter,
Yeah.
on top of just, of course, the marketing and advertising. We're not agents that, like you said, where we sit behind the desk and like, here we go live. No, we're out there working it in the community, but most importantly, we're putting our dollar behind it, and we're actually marketing and advertising it and spending the money. Do you know that 17% of the time that within a 2-mile radius of that single family home or condo, whatever it is you're selling, there is a buyer within 2 miles of that
Yep.
that house. And so 17% of the time. So I set my focus on those 2 miles right away and start marketing and advertising towards that 2-mile radius. And then I start calling the neighbors and going, hey, did you know that blah, blah, blah address just came on the market? And do you know anybody? Because how many people have had Christmas parties, family parties, Thanksgiving meals? They're like, man, I love this neighborhood. They know somebody that wants to move into the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So I'm not just sitting at home waiting. I'm actually out there door knocking, calling, marketing, advertising, sweeping, cleaning. And then when it comes to negotiations, let me tell you, I'm going to make you more money than anybody else. And if you're a buyer, you will spend less money. It matters the agent that you're working with. And that is so important because, like, for example, I just did this deal. This is a prime example. One of my buyers, love her. If she's watching later, I love you. Literally fell in love with this house, and it was 1.150, $1,150,000, and she was literally in love with it. It was the home we've been looking for, and she's like, make a full price cash offer, and I'm like, no, let's go in $100,000 less. And she was like, if you lose this house for me, and I'm like, listen, I'm just telling you, I have this gut feeling on this house. I know this agent. I did some work on, I did some background research on this agent. She's newer in the business. She doesn't know what she's talking about. From the language that Mrs. Buyer that you can't see, I'm telling you, I can negotiate. Let me try. And this is what she said to me. She was like, if you lose this deal for me, you're fired. I was like, all right. Challenge accepted. I just have this gut feeling I can get 50 grand off, but let's start with 100. She was like, okay, if you lose it, you're fired. I'm like, okay, I'll take the risk. We offered $100,000 off. We offered 1.1. They came back and negotiated back, and we bought that thing for 50 grand less, the number that I told her I could buy it for. She would have spent $50,000 more with another agent. But because I have a high IQ of what is going on in this market, I'm not emotionally attached to that house because I'm not there, right? My emotions are completely checked out. I am looking at this as an expert, as a professional in this industry, and I'm here to fight for your purse. And and even though it affects my purse, because that extra 50 grand makes me a couple $1,000s more, it's not about that with me. It is about you getting your dream home for the best price. Because you know what? Then you're going to tell your neighbor, then you're going to tell your friend. And then, like, I have 13 sales in one family. And that's the most important part of this is our, like, everybody's watching, this is our careers. This is not a side gig. This is our careers. And we're here, our families want to help your families. And it matters the agent that you work with. And it's like that agent, in fact, I don't think she'll stay in the business. She was talking to me on the phone about it after we did that deal and negotiated. And because she was like, you know, she was wanting to know how I knew, you know, and I didn't teach her. I'm like, you're not with Call It Closed, but if you want to join Call It Closed, I'll teach you what not to do. You know, but I'm going to keep that on the down low because here at Call It Closed, we have the best training and coaching. But the reality of it is there's a lot of agents out there that don't have that. And so she was like, you know, unaware. But again, my fight was for the client. And so
Yeah.
those are things that are unseen that clients don't really know that we know because we do this every day. You know, they don't know. And they're just like thinking about where we're putting up the Christmas tree, which I'm thinking about that too. But I'm also behind the scenes going, hey, we got to pay more or we got to pay less. Like, I don't
Yes.
want you to envision a Christmas tree until I know I can get you that deal and I'm going to get you a good deal and buy 4 Christmas trees with the extra or remodel the kitchen, right? Or paint or get new furniture, do whatever you want to do. But I'm going to fight for you, for your family because it matters. And that is what makes us the real agent that actually is in this as a career. That's what makes us successful.
I thought that
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
I would agree. I
Yeah.
think the one of the larger understatements really is the negotiation piece. And you really need a skillful negotiator, particularly if you're on the other side of me, right? You want someone that is going to be able to advise you because to the point that Aprilli just made, this is what we do day in and out. Like we are the experts in this space. And so I'm always super intrigued at how sometimes it really does get missed in terms of, oh, I didn't know I could get that, right? When I meet a client that maybe they recently purchased new construction
Mhm.
and they're like, I didn't think I needed an agent. And it's like, well, if you're not talking to someone that's representing you, then you're talking to someone representing the other side. And you always need to have your own representation because you need someone that is fighting for your interest. Well, they're the builder, they want to sell, and that's great. And I'm like, yeah, but on the other side, as people that are in the industry, maybe we could have gotten a deeper discount. Maybe we could have gotten certain things upgraded that to the normal eye, it feels like an upgrade. You don't want to ask for it, but we see it all the time. We know the builders see it all the time. And so we can push, we can have that conversation. We can make sure that you're getting what they said that they were going to give you. We can make sure that the day that they come to put up the drywall, that before they actually put up the drywall, your realtor is going to be able to have that conversation with the builder's rep to say, hey, we need you to blow out all of the trash that is now in between the walls. If you don't have somewhere there that's looking out for those things, that's how those things are missed. And so you really do need somebody negotiating. And it just baffles me sometimes because in an environment where like I don't even want to check out my own stuff at the grocery store, right? Like I would rather somebody else check it out for me. It amazes me how many people will try to tackle a purchase as large as a home
yeah.
on their own or
Yeah.
without representation.
I think that's a huge point that you just mentioned, Tara. I think we
Yeah,
should go into is about that house, like the stuff between the drywall and the framing.
yeah.
I don't understand. But you know how many times that I've gone to job sites and the roof has been plastered without the coverings?
Oh,
Oh, you know,
yes.
a rain season happened, and so
Yep.
they have this tarp on top of before they've laid the shingle on top of it.
Yeah.
And it's like that whole thing is mold infested. It's got to come off. You've
Yeah.
waited 10 days and this has been exposed to the weather. You know, the backing that goes on before the
Right.
tarp. So
Yep.
and so
Right.
I'm out there as soon as I'm in a rainstorm and I have a new construction person, I'm out there in my car like,
That's
hey,
right.
did they properly cover this roof? And I'm telling you, like 99% of the time, it's a no. It's a no. And
Yeah.
so I'm out there, arguing with the builder because they will just cover that thing right up with their shingles. And I'm like, not with this agent. You're not covering anything up with those shingles. You're ripping the whole thing off and we are redoing it. And they're like,
Yeah.
no, Mrs. Osborne, it's fine. I'm like, I'm going to get a roof inspector out here. Don't do a thing. And they're like, okay, back it up, roof inspector, and it's because the agent that cares about your family. And that is
Yeah.
what's so important. So I love that you brought that up because I didn't think about that in new
Yeah.
construction where you don't know that. Like you're not building a
Right.
home every year. But
Right.
we do it every, a couple times a month with our
Yeah.
clients. And so
Yep.
we know what things to look for that they wouldn't even think about, like even the installation where they're doing the stuff that they spray, the foam that
Yeah.
they're spraying.
Insulation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like they will skim on that too. I'm telling you, you got to watch them. You
I
got to watch.
love
Yeah.
it. And we're
Yeah. You got to be
licensed,
close.
like Amy, when you go to your doctor or if you go to the mechanic, you're going to get someone licensed to be able to help you with your
Such a good
needs,
point. Don't be giving me
Yeah.
no prescription if you don't got no license.
What's your thoughts, Amy?
Yeah, I mean, to have an experienced realtor, when I first started in this business, I was just fumbling through it. Even when I was on a team and had all this training, until you're like on the job doing one transaction after another, I was just kind of fumbling through it, and God kind of protected me. But now, about 200 deals later, it's just the experience backing, the right questions, and your presence. They can like smell you coming in, like, whether or not you're new or not, just my presence walking in, the new construction agents are like, and they're like, well, you almost didn't get commission. They're trying to cut you out. And I think that's where a lot of buyers don't understand. They're literally trying to just cut us out. And it's just, I bought new construction before and it was a mess before I was a realtor. And I just walked in and just did the deal. And it was awful. Um, but yes, you just need not just licensed, experience behind you backing. And then too, like my newer agents, I just tell them, give me a call, put me on the phone. Let's do this
Right.
together. So even newer agents, as long as they have somebody walking beside them that's actually willing to be there, I think that's important. You can have all kinds of other like on training on the computer, but until you can have somebody walking beside you through transactions like that, because every single one of them is so different until you get it under your belt. But yeah, you've got to represent your buyers. Right now, I don't have new construction right now. I have buyers that they're like, oh, we'll take it how it is. It's a fixer and a flip. And I'm like, those, it doesn't look like, they just slapped lipstick on a pig on this one, but let's make sure we do X, Y, and Z. And I'm walking behind the home inspector and, oh yeah, they changed the electrical panel, but the main shut off is Federal Pacific and the pool shut off is Federal Pacific. And I'm like, okay. And then they were doing the dishwasher and I'm opening it up and water goes all over the floor. I'm like, okay. So now what do we do? And, the listing agent was just like, okay, I think I might be able to get you this and this and this. And he was kind of not really representing his seller really well by telling me what he would do. He gave me that. And then I got more. He was like, I don't think we're going to go past this. This is it. Like he's at his bottom line, da, da, da. And I'm like, look, I know he's in a situation and he may have to come with money to the table because he's a new investor and he didn't invest well. Federal Pacific panels are 101.
Right.
So, and that agent who's an experienced agent, I'm like, it's 101. Like we know those panels can't even get home insurance
Yeah.
on. So just kind of taking that for those kinds of things, the dishwasher, along with, there was some other things that I got for them, but, yeah, and sometimes you need to go over list. You never know. If you're in a multiple offer situation, you got to know how to deal with that too.
Exactly.
I think that the type of transaction also matters too, Amy, because to the point that you were making, sometimes and it has been beneficial for me because it has helped me to win some new investor clients. But it's interesting to me that those that are in the marketplace as investors, one of the things that I look at and I sit down and walk my clients through is what the ROI is going to be, what the cap rate is going to be, depending on how long they're going to hold it. Like we talk about holding cost and carrying cost. And what's interesting to me is if you're going at that and you're not dealing with an experienced realtor, you find yourself in a position where you have purchased a house and then it's just sitting, or you've purchased a house and it took too long for you to rehab the house and you're trying to turn it. A lot of times in my investor consults, I'll ask these questions, and I have had some really seasoned investors share with me that my line of questioning was the first time their realtor took them down that path. And I'm like, if you are in that niche, if you are purchasing specifically to invest, your realtor should be bringing that information to you. You need to know what your cap rate is. You need to know what you're expecting from your ROI, but your realtor should be bringing you options that fit into that space, because that's what we do. And I think at times when we are not kind of matched up, meaning you may be an investor or a home buyer or seller and you're working unrepresented, you may be experiencing that because of a past experience, that you were working with someone that wasn't giving you the information, but that is actually what we do. So you really want to make sure you are bumping up against the niche that you are looking for, that you're purchasing in, because that's critical.
Yeah, I love that. I'm going to give a shout out. Greg, thanks for jumping on. My handsome husband, Andrea, thanks for jumping on. Jeannie, if you guys see anybody on your socials, you can shout them out. That collaboration, I know you were talking about, Amy, when you're new, it's a lot that you don't know. And I like how CIC does have our Motivation Monday. I love Wisdom Wednesdays, our office hours. And I know we even have Reach in Naples that is this week. Aprilly, what's going on with Reach? I'm
Listen,
so excited to be going.
I'm so excited too. It
I'm
is
so excited.
absolutely, it's what we love to do as agents is we've got to learn from each other. Like and Tara's in Texas, Amy and Amy's in Central Florida. I'm in Southwest Florida. You're in Central Florida. And we have agents from all over the country. We're in 4 countries, and then we're in 21 states, about 25, about 4 more coming on the next couple of weeks. And so we have agents across the country. Like most people only think of the neighborhood that they're shopping in, but there is something about when you know what is going on inside the world frame of real estate, like the market itself in the whole United States. Because one thing, like for example, and I can use this example. In fact, I have a book about to come out. I'm talking about this in a book where in 2006, we all remember the crash, right? The big crash. Everybody loves to talk about it. And people are saying right now, and that's maybe a topic we talk about next, but it's like, are we in a crash again, right? Because the market's doing whatever it's doing. So we can talk about that in a minute. But in 2006, the market began to do its shaking and shimmering. And then all of a sudden, they it started happening here in Florida first at the end of 2006. Then it moved across the country. Then it was in Reno next, actually Reno, Las Vegas. But most people don't understand. So Texas was the last state to feel it and the first state to come from it. So what happens when you work with a group of agents that work together across the country is, so we're in an area that you get to say, listen, this is what I'm feeling. We get to keep our pulse on the market across the board. So in 2006, if you had that high real estate IQ of a company of agents that says, hey, I'm dealing with this in my market, well, I'm not dealing with in mine. Same thing that happened in the crash in 2006 is, well, I'm feeling it over here. my market's on fire. I'm not feeling it. Well, guess what? 6 months later, they were feeling it. So there was a head start, especially for the investor world, right? So it's like, hey, because I raised the flag and at the end of 2006, I had sold 355 homes the year before to investors. And I began to feel it. And I'm like, sell, 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 let's sell, let's sell. The market's about to do this thing. And so if I would have had the relationships I have now, I would have been able to call Tara in Texas and then agents across the country. Hey, this is what I'm feeling. This is what I think is coming. And then if she had investors in her market, she could prepared for them as well. And so it is so important to work with agents. And that's what we do at Reach is our once a year. Now we talk weekly together across the country via Zoom, but there is nothing like coming back to belly together. And we love to hug. We're family. We hug. We have CIC family, and it is literally like, what's going on in your market and how can I be better? How can I do this better? Staying cutting edge of like what is working for our sellers, what is working for our buyers, and what are you doing and what are we doing? And then we bring the top coaches in the industry to come and coach us. And so and we do it in sunshine, in Florida. It's cold everywhere. Next year we'll probably have to be in Orlando up by you guys because we're running out of space down here in Naples. But I'm so excited about this
I'm
week.
loving that. Haas Pratt and Robbie Page. Learning from them has really been amazing. So
Tony
Yeah.
Jerry.
Tony Jerry, I know it's going to be amazing. Amy, are you looking forward to Reach?
I am. I've already started watching Haas Pratt's training videos on
Yes.
Basecamp. I've ordered my sign writers for certified homes and offering that for my listings. I'm gonna kind of focus on my listings. So I'm really excited. I've met Tony. I have a dollar bill that he signed for me when I was in Dallas, kind of hanging up on my vision board.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's exciting just to see him again. He probably won't even remember
he will
me,
remember. He will remember.
I was like this. I was just so like, I couldn't believe I was there.
People don't know.
And then I met Chad Naprilli the first time, and we came off the airport and came right to the hotel, and I was like, oh my gosh, we're wearing our travel clothes, and I'm just like looking at him like, you're so tall. They're not that much taller than me, but I just felt like I was like, wow, I can't believe I felt like I was meeting, I don't know. It was just fun and exciting when we did that. And then Haas Pratt's probably my one that I'm going to just kind of tune into, see what I can learn, just like have it just kind of ooze all over me and just see because I mean, when I left and I met Tony Jerry, I was really just listening to the other 9 agents, their top agents. What are they doing? I don't need to reinvent the wheel, and I could do exactly what that is. And then it just helped me climb, and I did exactly that. And then I created my own from that. But yeah, so now I'm going to kind of focus on that and I have a shift coming this year. That's what's happening.
That's right,
that.
Amy.
We're in a
Live in 25.
I love that. As we're closing up, you guys, on like our last 10 minutes, I was thinking about what you talked about for our viewers. You guys go ahead and comment on what's your thoughts on the market from your perspective of buyer, seller, if you guys want to comment. But you talked about that crash of '06. I wonder what is making everyone think or feel that we're leading and headed in that direction,
I think it's the increase of inventory in the days on market. And obviously we're having higher interest rates. Like you mentioned earlier, eggs are at an all-time high, gas is kind of high, cost of living is at a high. We've had the most dramatic political years of our lives. It doesn't matter which side of the aisle that you sit on, but we've just had a lot of dramatic experiences in the political world. And when those things happen, and if you look all the way back to like Jimmy Carter days, that causes the consumer to kind of sit back a minute. And it's not just in houses, it's in watches, it's in cars, it's on vacations, it's on other luxury items. It's just what happens. And so because we're in this moment of this kind of like rattling and rolling now, it's still rattling and rolling a little bit in the political arena. We're still waiting for interest rates to drop a little bit, but we are not in the market shift. A market crash at all. I just want to say that loud loud and clear. I've been doing this for 23 years. I am an expert in this business, and I am telling you, we're not in a crash. Are we in a correction? Absolutely, we are in a correction. And if you're a buyer or an investor, like, get your purse out now.
Right.
Get
Now, for
your
people that
purse
don't know
out.
the difference, Aprilli, between crash and a correction, what's like your one sentence on what's the difference between those two? For people who are listening and like, hey, that's interesting. What does that mean?
Yeah, no, a crash is the market is going to drop 50%, 30% in numbers. That's what a crash is. A correction is, we were in COVID days where that never happened in any of our lifetime. Like, none of
Right.
us, hope to God we never have that in our lifetime again. But the reality of it is we were in COVID days. So people had this thought, like, I'm going to live in these four walls for years potentially to come. So that caused the consumer to shift the way that they wanted to live their life. So what happens in these four walls? Like, I'm going to maybe home children. I'm going to work from home. I'm going to do this. I want to live in an environment that I get to spend more time outside. So we came from that to, like, now we're going back to a level of normal. And so the market is just leveling out for where we thought we were going to live inside these four walls and not be able to do anything different. Now that our kids are going back to work, most employers are asking for their people to come back to work. We're going back to a level of normal, which is causing our market to do something, a little bit of a correction from the unnormal market that we were in during COVID.
I would agree with that too. And we're seeing that in Texas too, where, because during that COVID time, building was at an all-time high, and they're building homes where you can have like generation after generation after generation in the same dwelling, right? Like 3, 4 generations. Because of COVID, people were trying to stay together, or homes that are being built with a designated home office. Well, now as people are getting back out there and looking, kind of like how having a dedicated living room went away, people are like, I don't necessarily need the home office, or I don't necessarily need 2 primaries. So it's to the point that you just made, Aprilli. While the buyers are coming back and they're looking at something a little bit different than what was built, which is why we're seeing homes that have high days on market from an inventory perspective, because people don't necessarily need the mega mansion that was built 3 years ago, because everybody that they love is not going to be under one roof. And so it is interesting, like, just cyclically to watch it.
To watch it. What are your thoughts, Amy, in your market in that kind of Orlando? You were in Oviedo, right? The,
Yeah, it's
the,
Central Florida, Oviedo. Yeah. Yeah, so it's definitely a correction. Higher interest rates, yes. You'll see price drops, but there's still sellers that want to list at the top and see what they can get. So then they're on days on market. But then I've also experienced multiple offer
Right.
situations where I had to go in with highest and best, and I'm like, seriously, highest and best? Yeah, but it's the price point too. And is it turnkey, move-in ready? Buyers are still the most educated they've
Yep.
ever been because of the COVID years. They know what they can get. They know what, like they know they can get closing costs and this things. But once you walk into a house that's in this area, if you find a house in 400,000 that's decent, I mean, people are going to be crawling all over that. And there'll be cash offers, and people will go above list. Maybe not $50,000 like it was during those COVID years. Like, that was insane. Sane and fun all at the same time. I'm like, sure, let's go $50,000 over, and it'll probably appraise, but not anymore. So it's just different. It's really reading the other
Right.
agent, because sometimes they say they're highest and best and say that it's multiple offers, and I'm like, I can, like, it's how they deliver it, and I know the right kind of questions, and I listen a lot. Listening is really key to having the other agent kind of show you their cards. And then you can follow up with the right questions with what they're talking about. So all of it just kind of ties into just being the best agent you
Mhm.
can be, experience or not experience, because you can leverage the experience from other agents that are in your
Mhm.
corner. And it's when you can find that support and you can find 100% commission, all of the other pieces of the puzzle will fall into place.
Yeah.
Find people that want to mentor you because they were where you were, and then you do the best for your clients, whether buy or sell, and you're just trying to find what's the newest thing out there that works. I didn't invent all of
Right.
this. I listen to different experts, and I do my professional development, and just studying, researching, and I know there's a change. And AI is important because it is part of our world now. It's a little creepy, but it is definitely part of our world. And how do we leverage that? So, and you want to leverage it before everybody else starts leveraging it.
I love it. I love it. I think that it's, really important, the support that you were talking about, whether you're 2 years, 3 years, 8 years in the business, there's always something you can learn from somebody else. No one just made it. And then we didn't invent these things. So if you're a real estate agent tuned in and you want to know more about CIC, we'd love, love, love to have a conversation to tell you more about the different advantages that come with teaming up with this amazing supportive family of realtors. So just closing up, ladies, I'm thinking if each of us can just kind of share what area we're in, if someone wants to contact us. I am in, if you guys are looking in Sebring, if you're looking in Lake Wells, Okeechobee, Loretta, Lakeland, if you're looking at Avon Park, even as far as Davenport, Winter Haven, I'd love, love to, share with you what's going on here in this market specifically. So what market specifically are you in?
So I am in the Dallas market. So Collin
Dallas.
County, Dallas County,
Dallas.
um, for a few special people, Denton County, but that DFW area it's a large area, but it's the area that I cover in Texas.
I love it. I love it. What about you, Aprilli?
Yes, I am in Naples, Florida, Southwest Florida. I'm in Bonita Springs, Estero, and Marco Island. And so, if you are looking to buy anything in the Southwest Florida market in the Sunshine State, come on down.
Mm.
Beautiful beaches in the world down here. I like to say it's that white powdered sand. You know how you get that sand in some other
Oh,
places, like sticky wet? We got the white powder sand with the crystal blue ocean here. It is
oh my
amazing.
goodness.
It is
Now, when I come to that crystal water sand, like, can I bring a bottle with me and like carry some back home with me? Can I?
do it. You should do
Naples is trucking that stuff in. They're just like bringing it in. It's their sales pitch. White powdery
The
sand,
clear
it.
water.
Oh,
bringing
they
it in
did
the middle
bring
of the
it in.
night in truckloads.
They did bring some of it extra in. After that storm, that last one, they put in like 20 million
Yeah,
in sand. But I'm telling you, Naples can afford it.
Wow.
Yes, I
yeah.
love those sand jars. You can get so creative by putting a little dye in different parts of the sand and kind of making you a little decor for your
Oh,
house. I think they're kind of cool. And then memories from being at the beach. So little
Yeah,
right.
creativity.
do the same with shells.
Shells. Yes,
Mm.
that's awesome decor.
Ross.
What about you, Amy? What area are you covering?
I'm pretty much all of Central Florida. I go wherever the squirrel takes me. So, Daytona Beach to probably up to Ocala, all of Central Florida. I've been down to Sebring. That's how Sharina and I kind of met, and connected through Showa Me because we didn't have a call it closed agent there. So I was like, girl, now you're going to get all the referrals. Anybody that comes to that area, there's no other agent. So that's what's awesome. Like when I was new to Central Florida, I was getting referrals like crazy. I still am, but it's also nice to build your downline and have that residual income too.
Yeah, I love
So
that. When I first had my questions, you guys, just a couple short years ago, getting my license, Amy has been amazing at every question. I mean, I'm like, hey, Amy, got a minute? Hey, Amy. And she never turned me down. And I was with EXP, you guys, at first, and I don't have any complaints about EXP. They were for me for the time that they were for me. But Call It Close has definitely been very revolutionary in my journey as a real estate agent. Aprilia is so personable. Chad is so present. Tara, you've been amazing. Just reminds me of just having office staff in my phone. Office, she just
Yeah.
knows a lot. I'm like, Tara, you must be hired by the company. She just knows so much. And then Amy, you've been so awesome. So if you guys are watching and you are a real estate agent and you've been considering 100% brokerage and you've been looking at your options, there are options out there. I'd love for you to consider CIC and just kind of learning more information about our brokerage. But that was it, you guys. Tune in on the second and fourth Mondays at what time, Tara?
7 p.m. Eastern and 6 p.m. Central.
All right, so what we gonna do just to liven this up a bit is we're gonna go out with